Hello students, we are discussing endocrine system in humans. Now we will discuss the glands of the endocrine system in humans in detail. The first gland which is in your syllabus is hypothalamus. The location of that gland is, it is situated in brain. It releases two kind of hormones. The first one are RH, that is releasing hormones, and the other ones are inhibitory hormones, that is IH. These two hormones are antagonistic to each other. हाइपोथैलेमस जो बच्चे वो दो तरह के हार्मोन्स रिलीज करती है, एक रिलीजिंग हार्मोन और एक इनहिबिटरी हार्मोन. Releasing means which starts the secretion and inhibitory means which stops the secretion. It controls the pituitary gland by those RH and IH hormones. It releases various kind of releasing hormones like FSH-RH. FSH stands for follicle stimulating hormone, releasing hormone. This hormone will goes to the ovaries in case of females and release the follicle, stimulates the follicle from the epithelium. The other hormone is FSH-IH. It stops the secretion of FSH. When this hormone released, then pituitary do not release the follicle stimulating hormone. Likewise, GH-RH, growth hormone releasing hormone, and here GH-IH, growth hormone inhibitory hormone. At a certain age, the growth hormone is released in the body, which controls the growth, and after a certain age, the maturity, the growth hormone secretion is stopped. कुछ एक पर्टिकुलर एज तक की ग्रोथ होती है, हम बोलते हैं बच्चे आम भाषा में. ऐसा क्यों? क्योंकि ग्रोथ हार्मोन जो है वो एक पर्टिकुलर एज तक रिलीज होता है और एक पर्टिकुलर एज के बाद इसका सिक्रेशन बंद हो जाता है. So these are the two major hormones which are secreted by the hypothalamus, and that is releasing hormones and inhibitory hormone. The other example of it is prolactin releasing hormone, prolactin inhibitory hormone, ACTH, adrenocorticotropic releasing hormone, and adrenocorticotropic inhibitory hormone. Next, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, and here thyroid stimulating hormone inhibitor or inhibitory hormone. So these are the hormones which are released by the hypothalamus. Second gland is pituitary gland. It is also situated in brain. Pituitary gland is also known as master gland of the body, as it controls the other endocrine glands by its hormones. And pituitary in turn is controlled by hypothalamus. Hypothalamus gives the signal to pituitary that at a particular time which gland is to be activated. Hypothalamus pituitary को बताता है कि अब ये टाइम आ गया है. This is the time that we must have to activate that particular gland. For example, if the salivary gland secretion is to be released, salivary gland, the activation is to be done, then pituitary gland control its secretion by the help of hypothalamus. That is releasing hormone which is secreted, that the gland secretion should be released, and inhibitory hormone stops that secretion. So pituitary gland release various kind of hormones. Pituitary gland is a tri-lobed gland. It has three glands: anterior gland, middle lobe, and posterior lobe. It has three lobes, which anterior lobe, middle lobe, and posterior lobe. It releases various kind of hormones, but we learn the hormones, we discuss the hormones in detail as it together. The first hormone is FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. This is not the part of your 10th class syllabus. This hormone stimulates the growth of ovaries in females. This hormone in males helps in the secretion of sperm or production of sperm in the testis. Second hormone is vasopressin or ADH. It is vasodilator. It dilates the vessels and hence increases the water absorption. This is not the part of your 10th class syllabus. Next is growth hormone, and a very important hormone for your board exams. Growth hormone is also known as somatostatin. Growth hormone is released at a particular age, which controls the growth of the body by increasing the length of the bones. And after a certain age, the growth hormone, inhibitory hormone released by the hypothalamus, will stop its secretion. एक पर्टिकुलर एज तक ग्रोथ हार्मोन रिलीज होता है बच्चे, और उस ग्रोथ हार्मोन की वजह से हमारी ग्रोथ होती है, दैट इज मेजर ऑर्गन्स जो है लाइक बोन्स, इनकी ग्रोथ होती है, एक पर्सन ग्रो करता है. लेकिन एक पर्टिकुलर एज के बाद ये जो सिक्रेशन है बंद हो जाता है बच्चे, और ग्रोथ जो है वो रुक जाती है. उसके बाद हम लिटरली बढ़ते हैं, विड्थ बढ़ती है हमारी बच्चे. ग्रोथ हार्मोन्स अंडर सिक्रेशन एंड ओवर सिक्रेशन बोथ कॉज अ डिजीज. Its under secretion cause dwarfism. The person who has less secretion of growth hormone will become dwarf. Bona, छोटा रह जाएगा आई बच्चे उसको. And over secretion will cause gigantism. Gigantism means abnormal increase in the size of the limbs. Hands and legs are increased abnormally, and that is known as gigantism. Gigant means बहुत बड़ा, अमानवीय. So a person's growth of the limbs is exponentially increased. So these two are the harmful effects of either over secretion or under secretion of growth hormone. Third gland which we will discuss is pineal gland. This gland is also situated in brain. It is a stalk-like structure. Stalk means एक उभार होता है बच्चे, एक उभरी हुई चीज, एक बाहर निकली हुई चीज की जैसा है. It is a stalk-like gland which is thought to be vestigial. What is a vestigial organ? The organs which were in working in our ancestors, but now they are non-working. Now they are non-functional. ऐसे organs बच्चे जो पहले हमारे ancestors में work करते थे, they work in our ancestors. Ancestors does not means our grandfather. Ancestor means our great grandparents, from which we evolve, and now they are non-functional. But some says it secretes a hormone named as melatonin. Melatonin controls the biorhythms, the biorhythmic cycles of our body. Mood swings, these are controlled by melatonin. So that is the function of pineal gland. Fourth and a very important gland for your 10th class board exam, which we will discuss, is thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is present in a neck region. It secretes two hormones majorly. The first one is thyroxine, which is in your 10th class syllabus, and a very important hormone for your question purpose. Thyroxine hormone is an iodinated hormone. What we mean by iodinated? That it requires iodine for its formation. In the absence of iodine, thyroxine formation does not take place. अगर बच्चे आयोडीन प्रेजेंस होगा तो ये हार्मोन बनेगा, अगर आयोडीन प्रेजेंट नहीं होगा तो ये हार्मोन फॉर्मेशन नहीं होगी. What is the function of thyroxine? It controls BMR. What do you mean by BMR? BMR stands for basal metabolic rate. That means it controls the fats, carbohydrates and proteins metabolism. For proper growth and development. This hormone controls the regulation of the metabolism of fats, carbohydrates and proteins, which is required for the proper growth and development of a human being. If this hormone does not secrete, then the proper growth of a person, growing person will be affected. This hormones, by controlling this metabolism, will help us in taking our proper height, taking a proper weight. So that is the basic function of thyroxine hormone. Next, what happens in the deficiency of iodine? A very, very important question for your board exam. What happens if we are not taking proper iodine in our diet? Why doctors suggest us to take iodized salt? These are the questions related to this same topic. In the deficiency of iodine, thyroxine formation is stopped, is not there. Due to which thyroid gland become non-functional, and this thyroid gland appears as a swelling in the neck region, and this case is known as, this disease is known as goiter. In Hindi it is referred as ghenga, exophthalmic goiter. Ghenga, a swelling in the neck region appears due to the deficiency of iodine, which in turn stops, inhibits the formation of thyroxine hormone. क्या होता है बच्चे, अगर हम प्रॉपर आयोडीन नहीं लेंगे तो थायरॉक्सिन फॉर्मेशन नहीं होगा, थायरॉक्सिन फॉर्मेशन नहीं होगा तो थायराइड ग्लैंड नॉन फंक्शनल हो जाएगी, और अगर थायराइड नॉन फंक्शनल हो गई then a swelling is appeared in the neck region, and that case, that disease, that defect is known as goiter. So what is the remedy of it? The remedy of it is iodized salt. You must have seen the packets of the salts, but it is written over those packets that this salt is iodized salt. This is the packet of a salt, bache, which we are commonly using in our houses. See here, bache, there is written iodized. That means iodine containing salt, bache. And here in the last, iodine guarantee helps mental development. Why it is written on this packet of Tata salt or whatsoever salt we are purchasing? Because bache, this salt contain iodine in it, and iodine is essential for the formation of thyroxine hormone, which in turns control the proper development of a child, of a normal human being. So that is why the iodized salt is recommended by the doctors. Which we are going to discuss, which is not the part of your 10th class syllabus, that is calcitonin. Calcitonin is another hormone released by thyroid gland, but you can leave it as for the 10th class purpose. Calcitonin controls the calcium and phosphorus, that is the mineral balance in blood. It helps in control the calcium and phosphorus balance, the phosphorus amount in the blood. It absorbs the calcium and phosphorus from blood to the bones. So that is the purpose of calcitonin. Next gland which we have to discuss is parathyroid gland. This gland is also present in the neck region, and it secretes a hormone named as parathyroid hormone. This hormone is also known as a Collep's hormone, on the name of the scientist who discovered this hormone. Kollep was the name of the scientist who discovered it, and on the name of the scientist itself, the name is referred as Collep's hormone. This hormone controls the calcium and phosphorus level or balance in blood. So this is the function of parathyroid gland and the hormone secreted by it. The next gland which we have to discuss is thymus gland. This gland is a pinkish lobular gland present in the chest region near heart, in this portion approximately. This gland is fully grown in children and starts degenerating with maturity. As a person becomes an adult, slowly and steadily this gland diminished, degrading, degenerating. So that gland is thymus gland. The hormone secreted by this gland is thymosin hormone. The name of the hormone is named based on the name of the gland itself, that is thymus gland secretes thymosin. What is the function of it? Thymosin regulates the production as well as the maturation of T lymphocytes. It is a kind of WBC which helps in providing us immunity and helps our body to fight against the pathogens and the allergies. So basically it plays the role of immunity in our body. So that is the function of thymus gland. Next, and the very, very important gland which we have to discuss is adrenal gland. These are a pair of triangular shaped glands present over the kidneys. As we draw the diagram of kidneys in the excretory system, there are two triangular shaped glands present over the kidneys, and those are known as adrenal glands. Adrenal gland has two regions. The outer region is adrenal cortex, and the inner region is adrenal medulla. Adrenal cortex releases three hormones: glucocorticoids, mineralocorticoids, and the last ones are 6 corticoids. These control the metabolism of carbohydrates. These control the metabolism of various minerals like sodium and potassium ion balance in the body, and these control the sexual hormones. Adrenal medulla secretes two hormones, adrenaline and noradrenaline. Nephrin or epinephrine also their names are. Only adrenaline is in our 10th class syllabus, so you can leave all these other hormones, but focus on adrenaline very carefully. It is a very, very important hormone. This hormone is also known as emergency hormone. This hormone is also known as triple F hormone. Triple F stands for flight, fight and fright. उड़ना, फ्लाइट, फाइट, झगड़ना, लड़ाई के लिए रेडी होना, और फ्राइट, डरना. These are certain emergency situations, बच्चे. In these, the adrenal secretion is increased substantially. Adrenal keeps on secreting in our body every time, but during the emergency conditions like excessive joy, nervousness, fear, adrenaline rush occurs in our body and the secretion of adrenaline becomes more. जब भी बच्चों हम किसी भी ऐसी सिचुएशन में होते हैं जहां हमारी बॉडी को इमरजेंसी है, लाइक डरना, हम जा रहे हैं बच्चे, एकदम से हम सामने एक डॉग देख रहे हैं, स्ट्रे डॉग, में डर लगता है, तो हमारी हार्ट बीट बढ़ जाती है, रेस्पिरेटरी रेट तेज हो जाता है. दैट इज व्हाट द adrenaline rush in our body. If teacher sometimes asks a question, abruptly, we become very nervous, we afraid of it, and then adrenaline rush occurs in our body. If we are walking in the park and we suddenly see a snake in front of us, then obviously the heartbeat increased, respiratory rate increased, and that is known as adrenaline rush. What is the effect of adrenaline on our body? What is the function of adrenaline? It reduces the blood flow. To gastrointestinal tract, the tract which requires a large amount of blood, and during emergency condition that tract do not require blood in that much regular amount, so the blood is substantially reduced to that region. Why it is reduced? So that extra amount of blood can be given to muscular region, so that muscle can be prepared for those emergency conditions. So the blood flow is increased to the muscular region, to the muscles like bicep muscles, thigh muscles, so that we can easily run or prepare ourselves, or birds can prepare ourselves for flight. So these are the particular reasons for that. Regardless of these, heartbeat increases, respiratory rate increases, due to all these effects, the energy available to the muscle cells becomes increased, and that's how our body will become prepared for those emergency conditions. The same thing happened in the case of birds for the flight purpose. So this is the function of adrenaline. Noradrenaline works as a neurotransmitter in our nervous system. So that is the function. That is not the part of our syllabus, but if you want to just know the little function of it, it acts as a neurotransmitter in the nervous system. But function of adrenaline is a very, very important question for your board exam. The next gland which we have to discuss is pancreas. Pancreas is also an example of heterocrine gland, that it releases enzymes as a exocrine function, and it secretes two hormones. The first one is insulin, and a very important question for your board exam. Insulin is the only hormone which is in your syllabus of 10th class. Insulin is secreted by certain specialized cells present in the pancreas. Pancreas has alpha, beta, and gamma type of cells, and beta cells of pancreas releases insulin. Insulin controls blood sugar level. How? It helps in the conversion of glucose present in blood into a stored food, that is glycogen. And glycogen is a very important question. In human beings or in animals, the energy derived molecule present in this body is glycogen, which is the stored food of animals. So that glucose, the excessive glucose in the blood, is stored in the form of glycogen by the help of insulin in liver. So bache, the target site, the target organ of the insulin is liver. In the deficiency of insulin, a person suffered from a disease, and that disease is named as diabetes. That is, in normal language we call it sugar ho gayi hai. My grandfather or someone else in my family or my relatives has suffered from sugar. That is basically referred as diabetes. So due to lack of insulin, due to deficiency of insulin by the pancreas, a person suffered from a disease named as diabetes. Second, glucagon. It's glucagon. These two are antagonistic to each other. Antagonistic means exact opposite to each other. If in certain cases our blood glucose level is reduced, then the glycogen which is stored in liver is again broken down, it splits up into glucose, and that glucose is dissolved in blood, so that blood glucose level can be maintained to normal. बच्चे ये क्या कर रहा था, ब्लड में जो एक्स्ट्रा ग्लूकोज है, एक्सेसिव ग्लूकोज है, उसको ग्लाइकोजन की फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट कर रहा है. और ये क्या कर रहा है, जब हमें जरूरत है, मान लो हम बच्चे बहुत दिनों से फास्ट पर है, तो बच्चे हमें एनर्जी की जरूरत है, जो ग्लाइकोजन स्टोर्ड फूड है वो ग्लूकोज में कन्वर्ट होकर डिसॉल्व हो जाएगा ब्लड में, और ब्लड उस ग्लूकोज को ट्रांसपोर्ट कर देगा हर सेल तक, ताकि हर सेल एनर्जी प्रोड्यूस कर सके. एंड दिस कन्वर्जन is done by glucagon. This is secreted by the pancreas. So these are the two hormones secreted by pancreas. The one is in your syllabus, and that is insulin. A very, very important question for your board exam. In the case of a deficiency of insulin, the injections of insulin are to be given to the patient. You must have heard बच्चे उस person को तो insulin का injection लगता है. Why that insulin injection is there? So that the blood glucose level can be maintained normally. तो इसलिए बच्चे इंसुलिन है. इंसुलिन इज प्रिपेयर्ड जेनेटिकली बच्चे. You must have heard about the genetically modified crops in your previous class in chapter Improvement in Food Resources. Likewise, there are certain genetically modified drugs are there, and insulin is genetically modified drug which is prepared by genetic modification. So that you will study in your higher classes, in I think +2 as well. So that is the insulin. This is a very important question, so do remember it very properly and by writing practice. The ninth glands, or you can say the mixed organs which we have to discuss, are gonads. The first one is testis. A pair of testes present below the abdominal cavity only in males. These are a pair of glands which produce sperm, that is produce the cytogenic function, produce a certain kind of cell. So cyto word is related to cell, to cytogenic function. But here you will study the hormone secreted by them, and that hormone is testosterone. Testosterone is responsible for the secondary sexual characters in males, as well as it is responsible for the production of sperm in the testes of males. The second gonad which is in your syllabus is ovaries. A pair of ovaries present in females only. They release estrogens, that is progesterone and estrogen, which controls the secondary sexual characters in females. So these are the certain hormones which are released by the glands and its functions.